Conspiracies are always interesting, no matter how outlandish some may get. It's always a possibility that it's true. Area 51 is probably one of the best alien conspiracies, but we're not just focusing on aliens today. Greetings gamers and welcome back to Top 10 Gaming. I'm Connor Monroe and this is the Top 10 Scariest Gaming Conspiracies. Let's do it. Number 10, XCOM Declassified. The Bureau XCOM Declassified is a tactical third-person shooter released in 2013, and despite the fact that it's a game, people took its X-Files inspired aesthetic a little too far, proposing that this 2013 PS3 and Xbox 360 game is actually tied to a government conspiracy about hiding Area 51. Yeah, I don't know why they think this game was about aiding in a cover-up of Area 51 and whatever goes on in there, but like, why would they? What use does this game serve to the government that they'd use it to cover up something so big? Well, upon release, the game was criticized for its AI, permadeath system, narrative, and gameplay. So, the entire game. Maybe all these came to make nobody want to play the game so it would be easier to hide the things within it. It's like that episode of Bones where they find the government conspiracy and that dude has a memory chip in his nipple ring. I think. Maybe I'm making connections that don't really exist, like everyone who believes this theory is actually true. However, now those people are also saying that I'm a part of the system, so watch it. And 9, Ben Drowned. Ben Drowned is a creepypasta that serves as a warning for anyone considering illegally downloading or obtaining games, but we still do it anyway even though we shouldn't do it. It's honestly a bad idea. I actually got an email from my internet provider once, as a kid, because I did that. Anyway, after purchasing a beaten up Majora's Mask cartridge from a garage sale on down the street, the author went home to play it only to find a save file already on it, called Ben. They played it because who wouldn't? But the game wasn't normal. It was distorted and frankly frightening. So the author deleted the save. However, instead of deleting it, another one appeared, named Drowned. This was meant to be just a creepypasta, but now plenty of people believe that there is actually a truly haunted game cartridge out there possessed by the spirit of someone known as Ben Drowned. Or at least only known as that, because of the saves. That he possessed the game in order to seek revenge on the world that trapped him inside of Majora's Mask instead of Ocarina of Time. Just kidding, they're both good games. Before I get into this next number, if you're enjoying the video, be sure you hit that like button. It really helps us out against the algorithm and lets us know what you want to see more of. And at 8, EA rigged the Super Bowl. The Madden games from EA have a tradition of attempting to predict the Super Bowl outcome for their release year by running a simulation game. They're fairly accurate for the most part and usually predict the winner, but Madden 15 was something else entirely. Madden 15 was the second best-selling retail game in the United States in 2014, and after seeing this prediction, you'll see why. 1 week before the Super Bowl, EA and Madden put the Seattle Seahawks against the New England Patriots to guess what the score would be. They got 28-24 in New England Patriots' favor. The New England Patriots did indeed win that Super Bowl, 28 points to 24. Not only that, but Madden also predicted that Julian Edelman would catch the game-winning touchdown, and look at that, he did. And to make it even worse, yeah, that's right, there's more, they even guessed New England Patriots would come back from a 10-point loss of 14-24 before winning. And bada bing, bada boom, like it was written by Jesus himself, that's exactly what happened. It was so bad that fans even started to think that EA had rigged the Super Bowl to promote the game, which would have been a total financial fail, but they still believe it nonetheless. And at 7, the Madden Curse. Since we just talked about Madden, how about another conspiracy involving the Madden games? The Madden Curse started in 1998 after Garrison Hearst broke his ankle shortly after being on the cover of Madden 99. Since then, most of the players featured on the cover have sustained an injury in the following season, cutting that season short. Out of 22 players featured, 16 had had season-ending injuries. Barry Sanders, Eddie George, Dante Culpepper, Marshall Falk, Michael Vick, Donovan McNabb, Shane Alexander, Nick Young, Brett Favre, Drew Bees, Peyton Hillis, Adrian Peterson, and Rob Gronowski all have been cursed after being on the cover of a Madden game. If I said any of those wrong, I'm sorry, I don't know football. It came to a point that fans were voting against their favorite players to be on the cover so that they could avoid the curse. From 1999 to 2009, 90% of the athletes on the cover of the games were cursed. However, within the last 10 years, only 5 people have been cursed, with one being somewhat cursed after sustaining decent injuries, but not being out for the entire season. So if the curse is real, it could be losing its power and fading, or it could just, be totally luck-based. Nah, they're cursed. And at 6, Mount Chiliad. Mount Chiliad is the biggest mountain in Los Santos, with plenty of conspiracies about it in-game as well as in our world, the biggest probably being what's inside. If you don't know, upon reaching 100% completion of the GTA story, during a storm at 3 AM, if you stand at the observation deck on Mount Chiliad, you will see a UFO appear with the FIB markings. And that's only the start. There is also a strange mural inside the tramway, which is in essence a cave painting of Mount Chiliad with what can only be assumed are tunnels throughout, leading to 3 different, relics that are thought to be required to gain access to the mothership. There have only been mods showcasing how to get inside and what could be required, no official source, but as we see in the Doomsday Heist, the mountain is home to a missile launching station, so maybe there was more to Mount Chiliad than we all first thought. Halfway through number 5, Lavender Town Syndrome. Lavender Town Syndrome is the most legendary Pokemon creepypasta of all time, and it's understandable why. Music has a way of influencing people in a way that no other medium does. Music can cheer you up, bum you out, get you throughout the day, but can it end your life? Apparently, the Lavender Town music was switched in the Western release of Pokemon Red and Blue due to an apparent slew of players taking their own lives. This has been confirmed to be false, but many still believe that it's just an elaborate cover-up by Pokemon and the Japanese government in order to keep the whole ordeal quiet. Take a listen to some of the original Lavender Town music and tell me how you feel. Did you feel it? How uncomfortable that was? Did you feel something else too? Perhaps a chill down your spine or something feeling like it's stuck at the back of your throat? Some say that those feelings are because of the spirits of the players who fell victim to Lavender Town Syndrome. Others say it's just because of how uncomfortable the music is. And at 4, calling you to duty. We all know FPS games, first-person shooters. They're the backbone of the claiming to be a gamer but only knowing Black Ops 2 group of gamers. But while most of Facebook claims that these video games, among others, will make us more violent as a society, others seem to think that they're actually being used to train us for military operations. To be fair, I've seen many people think that just because they play COD they'd make a good soldier, but this seems to be a far cry from the truth, right? No pun intended, because Far Cry is also a game. Like, there's no way the military is keeping an eye on your KD ratio to see who to attempt to recruit next, right? Well, actually, the game America's Army was released in 2002 by none other than the United States Army, and serves as a way to inform, educate, and in fact, recruit prospective soldiers. The game was designed to allow Americans to explore the Army at their own pace and let them determine whether joining the Army would fit their abilities and interests. This game is the first reported large-scale use of gaming tech by the US government and is kind of befuddling. The game is free and received an update in August of 2013 known as America's Army Proving Grounds. And while this game is used to recruit potential soldiers, are they really looking at all of the FPS games? Maybe. And at 3, Goldshire. At 7 AM in World of Warcraft time, Goldshire will see a group of children leave their house, running all the way to the Valley of Heroes in Stormwind City. Then they go to Goldshire, up the road towards Northshire Abbey, to where the river meets the Mirror Lake, and then they return to their house. Each time they reach a new destination, they stand there for around 10 minutes moving all around, pointing in different directions. The children's names are Dana, Aaron, Cameron, John, Jose, and Lisa. These children seem fairly normal for the most part. When they do get back, they'll head to the second floor, where they'll stand in a circle staring towards the center, and looking at the ground, or at least a top-down view, you'll notice a pentagram, with each child as one point in the star and one at the center. The children will stay like this until 8 PM when they despawn. However, to make matters even worse, while they just stand there, menacingly, creepy music and sounds will play. Sounds like a banshee's scream, a ghoul call, and Cthulhu saying, "You will die and death is close." You can also find 2 tiny skulls in the grass to the southwest of the house, presumably some form of creature used as a ritualistic sacrifice, but then again, I don't want to take any chances. And into Illicit Substance Dream Emulator. Illicit Substance Dream Emulator is a PS1 game that was never the same twice. Sometimes known as something that sounds like LCD, this game takes basically everything you do into account when generating the maze you play in. The game also gets trippier over time, becoming more and more psychedelic the more you play. The conspiracy comes in when we talk about the game's inspiration, and while this may not be scary in a typical sense, the freak factor of eyes popping out of the walls staring at you randomly in the game, along with everything else, I'm sure is enough to put you on edge. The game's concept is apparently based on a dream journal from Hiroku Ushikawa, who worked in the game dev studio for over a decade. He was probably fun at parties. These dreams must have been horrific to turn this game into this crazy mess, and it wasn't even really meant to be a game, but rather a form of interactable contemporary art. And if that wasn't a crazy conspiracy, I don't know what is. It's really weird. I don't want to play it. Finally, in at number 1, Killswitch. Killswitch is an age-old story about a game that saw limited release in Russia. We can't confirm if it's real, however, since there were only so many copies created, and once complete, the game would wipe itself from your system, leaving no trace of its existence behind. The player was given a choice between a young girl or an invisible demon as playable characters. This was basically the earliest iteration of a survival horror game, if it really did exist. You, as the girl or the demon, had to navigate through a coal mine, but as I said, when you finished the game, it would delete itself, making sure you could never play it again. Where it gets into even scarier conspiracy territory is that an intact, functioning copy of the game showed up on eBay, where a Japanese man by the name of Yamamoto Ruchi bought it for $733,000 US. Yamamoto wanted to record his playthrough of the game and post it to YouTube, finally confirming for us its existence of this legendary creepypasta, but the only footage uploaded was him crying while staring at his computer. He swears he uploaded real footage of the game, but somehow turned into that. There we have it, friends, the top 10 scariest gaming conspiracies. Which one scares you the most, and is there any gaming conspiracies that you truly believe? Be sure you let me know down below. I'm sure to some of you the scariest thing in this video was my hair, but please leave it out of the comments. Thank you all so much for watching. I have been and shall remain Connor Monroe, and I'll see you in another video.